It was okay, but it wasn't.
I thought that it was, technically it was fine. Like, it did all the right stuff, but I didn't like the main character. I didn't like her. I thought she was, just a stupid character. I thought it was a bit repetitive. Every scene played out the same, and nobody ended up dying. The only people who I thought were, real people in the movie were Javi, the Anthony Ramos, that guy. He seemed like a real, genuine person. And then his boss, who was the tall guy, who just seemed super fed up in every scene. I felt his frustration. Hey, yeah, you too. That tall guy there, who was in that movie, is gonna play Superman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He seemed in charge, but they kind of nerfed his character.
MIT guy.
Yeah, in the white shirt.
Oh, not Glenn Powell.
No, he also seemed miscast a bit, you know what I mean? He should have been either 10% more dickish or 10% dumber or vain. He was kind of bland.
I thought he was going to.
Yeah, he was pretty much a supporting character. I thought he'd be a co-lead. Did it feel long?
Not really.
Yeah, it was only 2 hours. It's just, it didn't feel super dangerous or anything.
It didn't have
a story.
Well, yeah.
I just don't get, so what were they trying to do? They were trying to,
Find out how to stop tornadoes.
Yeah, but the thing is that the first time they do it at the beginning, it doesn't work for whatever reason, but they get the data, and then 5 years pass, and then the second time they do it and they, miss it. The third time they do it, and it's her old thing, and it just doesn't work, and then the fourth time they do it, and it works. I was kind of it seemed like they changed nothing. And then I didn't get why the two separate teams had, different ideas.
Well, because
the collect insurance thing, yeah. Or what?
They had to find a tornado that stayed intact and didn't die out. So that's why they went different ways. One had data, but she had a feeling over here.
Yeah. To see her, mess up, that first time when they're back, frustrated me so much. And then other times when they're oh, we gotta go help people instead of doing our job, actually made me mad. Because it's what are you...
Yeah, they should have been focused instead. Instead, they all try to be good guys.
Yeah, and it's well, that's what the National Guard is for, or what are you gonna be able to do? It's funny because it's, a movie, but I felt so frustrated, and her character seemed a bit like a wet blanket. In the original, Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton are really enjoying themselves, and Philip Seymour Hoffman and all of them, they're really having a good time, and these people are just so frumpy. And I also was kind of wondering...
Well, that's why Tom Cruise's movies are so good, because he's focused.
Yeah.
And he has a journey that he goes through, and he has a plan and what he wants to achieve. You always know all of that going into a Tom Cruise movie, and you know you're gonna get bang for your buck.
Yeah.
But this one kind of wishy-washy. Oh, they're unfocused. They're not doing their job. Oh, she has this big dream of how to get rid of tornadoes and save lives. Yet she abandons that.
Yeah.
And goes after, we can help people, which they don't hardly make a dent in anything.
Yeah. They're there is like they're there after the destruction. And it was funny because I don't want to...
They might save one or two.
Yeah.
But...
I don't want to say I was rooting for, like, the millionaire land guy or whatever, but it was kind of unclear him being bad. I guess they're bad because he, like, he buys up their land after their property is destroyed, but it's, like, kind of insignificant. Like, they don't explain it a whole lot.
Well, he's like a pirate.
Yeah.
He plunders the area and takes advantage of people.
Yeah, that should, like, he should have been the main villain, but, like, it felt like they're like, well, we can't do that because we don't want to, like, it felt like they didn't want to upset anyone making the movie, so there was, like, a bunch of stuff. Them also holding off on the romance bothered me. Like, it was a very clear love triangle movie, and then they just kind of took the romance out of it. And it's like, it's been 5 years since she lost her boyfriend, but she still needs to grieve. And then I also thought, like, I went to the bathroom during this part, but she goes to Maura Tierney, her mom's house, and Glenn Powell shows up. Like, how did he find out exactly where she lived or something? Like, it felt like he...
because of the help from his other team.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. I thought he was going to be in it more. I was disappointed he wasn't in it more. I thought he was going to be like
Glenn
Powell, yeah. I thought he was going to be, like, it was going to be a ping-pong back and forth between the two of them. She was on one team, he was on the other, and they're basically, like, total enemies until, like, the midpoint. And then, you know, you wipe out half the team, which I believe the last one did. And then, you know, and then they come together because they realize they have bigger differences. But it was like, yeah, it felt like kind of scattered. Like, there wasn't really a villain. And then they kind of dance around it being climate change or something, but don't really say anything. So it's kind of unclear how they're helping. Like, the music was good. The opening sequence was pretty good.
I don't know about the music.
Well, the country music wasn't good that they added, but the score was like appropriate, I guess. But it all felt like good to okay, but none of it was like, there's nothing great or memorable or genuinely exciting in the movie, apart from the opening sequence. Like, if I made it, I would have made it like a slasher movie, where it's just basically like somebody from the team dies from a tornado every, you know, if you're going to have that many tornadoes.
Well, it was supposed to be twisters.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be like a valley of twisters that was totally devastating.
Yeah.
Well, not that it wasn't for the one, but...
Well, they have that one scene where they go and visit the people and hand out, you know, snacks to each other, but you don't really get to know any of the characters really that deeply. I think that the director, like, can't really handle more than one thing going on at once, I guess. So, like, because in Spielberg movies, it's always like, this happens, and then this, or Tom Cruise movies, it's like 5 things happening at once, and you just keep piling it on for the characters. But in this one, it was like one obvious tornado, they drive into it and have problems. And it's like, yeah, no kidding. Maybe if the movie was actually more focused on Anthony Ramos's character, Javi, like, that, I don't know, maybe that would have been interesting. But, like, yeah, the actress Daisy Edgar Jones, who plays that, who played the main girl, she, like, was in Crawdad Sing and another show, Normal People, and every one of her characters are, like, street dumb, of, like, just emotionally stunted, so, yeah. What would you rate it out of 10?
6 plus.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6 as well.
Well, like when you're comparing her to, there's no comparison between her and Helen Hunt.
Yeah, Helen Hunt.
Or Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
I mean, they set the bar way too high for them. I mean, as a secondary character, what's his name?
Anthony Ramos. Javi?
No.
Philip Seymour Hoffman?
He was good as a secondary character.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
In the original?
Glenn Powell.
Oh, yeah.
And he was okay, but seemed like a secondary character.
Yeah.
Instead of one of the primary people. And I don't know, the newspaper guy.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do something. I wondered if they had... I don't know. I wondered this, especially when Glenn Powell got caught under that piece of wall or whatever. That sequence felt like cut up, like maybe they tried to get some footage and ran out of time or something. It felt kind of patchy. And then them at the refinery, I thought the flaming twister was going to be more of a big deal. I thought it would have been nice if there were a sequence where...
Well, they should have blown up the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And killed off Glenn Powell.
Yeah. Like, somebody needed to die. Like, I'm pretty sure in the original, doesn't Philip Seymour Hoffman die? And, like, Alan Ruck and, like, half the team, or at least the bad guys' team dies because they drive into the tornado and it changes direction and stuff. But it's like, yeah... It didn't feel like I didn't really ever feel like anyone was seriously in danger. Anyway, that was like the movie I was looking forward to most for the year, and it was kind of disappointing. So,
well, it wasn't the movie I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, would you think just that it would be more exciting?
Yeah, I thought there'd be more depth to it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no... Yeah.
But they just... scratch the surface of all the characters, and she isn't... I mean, they don't really go... I mean, she should have been pursuing from day one that a theory that she had.
Yeah.
But I can see why she
dumped it.
Quit for a while after they got killed in the first tornado, but
yeah.
Then she should have doubled down and gone, well, this can't all be for nothing. So
I also wondered about, like, I mean, this is nitpicking, but, like, her not knowing about, like, the tornado wrangling YouTubers or whatever, like, and she works in meteorology, like, it...
Oh, well, they should have shown glimpses of it before and seen pictures of it and...
What they did.
And a YouTube of Glenn Powell and gone, I've seen you on... they talk about you because you've got a lot of followers. Yeah. I mean, some minor mention should have been done before. She met up with them.
It felt like it was all, like, too much of it felt like last minute, of, like, at the last minute, tornado, you know, oh, this tornado is coming. Like, everything happens with, like, zero warning. And then it's like, all of a sudden, this is happening. It didn't feel like it was building up to anything. It was just like a sequence of events. And then, at least in the first movie, you had, like, you know, Bill Paxton was engaged to the other girl, and Helen Hunt, so it's kind of like, you know, the love story kind of tracked the emotional arcs and stuff, but this just didn't have that and had nothing in its place.
It had no tension.
Yeah.